Hi, I'm Kim. Here's a quick video that shows what I do best.
Editing technical instructions. In my experience, most developers and QA teams don't enjoy the documentation part of their jobs. And honestly, it's usually not their strength. That's where a professional technical writer comes in. Keep in mind that improving your customer facing documentation can increase customer satisfaction with clear, user friendly instructions, reduce caseload for your support team heroes through self serve documentation, and let your dev and QA teams focus on coding and testing, not documentation. Being a non subject matter expert can be an advantage when creating user materials. I approach documentation with the same questions a typical user would ask, questions that experts might miss because the answers seem obvious to them. For this video, I chose a publicly available user manual from a software company. This is the original version. It needed structural improvement, clearer navigation, and more precise language. I didn't have access to a sandbox for the software, so this review is based on the existing instructions and the screen capture. I love a good screenshot. Let's take a quick look at these edits and track changes mode in Word. I like using this approach so the document owner can easily see what's been changed. Starting with the title, I didn't understand why the title didn't mention invoice reconciliation. It was labeled tax reconciliation, which to me is a completely different process. Next, the navigation section was written in paragraph form. I find that numbered steps are much easier to follow. My rule of thumb, stick to 8 steps max per process. If there are more than that, I break them into smaller subprocesses. And finally, the drop-down menu definitions. Several of these bullets said to change criteria as needed, which felt a bit too obvious. I used my favorite key, delete. I also noticed that some of the definitions weren't about the drop-down menu, they were report column definitions. I removed the report column definitions to a new section. One last thing I'd like to mention is word count. I'm a big fan of the Elements of Style by Strunk and White, which calls for clear and concise wording. Here are the original and final versions side by side. My edits cut unnecessary words for a cleaner, shorter result. At first glance, these documents look to be about the same length. However, the original has 193 words and the final version has 139 words. So 54 fewer words, a 28% decrease. Not bad for such a short article. My IT background and editorial skills help me bridge the gap between complex content and everyday users. So if you're looking for someone who brings clarity to technical content, I'd love to help. You can find me on Upwork.com by searching for Kim Roberts Editing under Talent. My Upwork portfolio contains the PDF version of the document I reviewed during this video if you'd like to take a closer look. Thanks for watching.